and welcome to Capital Online TV News. The Jubilee Coalition has discredited two impeachment motions targeting President Uhuru Kenyatta and Devolution Cabinet Secretary Ann Waiguru. Led by the Leader of Majority in the National Assembly, Aden Duale, they've described them as having no consequence. The over 30 legislators dismissed the motion by Nandi Hill's MP Alfred Keter pushing for the impeachment of Waiguru over alleged corruption at her ministry, saying it was a diversionary tactic by the opposition bent on splitting the Jubilee administration. Duale said the ODM party chairman John Mbadi's bid to have President Uhuru Kenyatta impeached would not even see the light of day, as the opposition did not have the numbers to meet the required threshold of 116 members. A 5-judge High Court bench has suspended the notice of retirement given to Deputy Chief Justice Aden Duale by the Judicial Service Commission. The bench has also suspended the recruitment of her successor for 45 days, within which they hope to hear and determine her petition challenging her retirement at 70. Duale has argued that since she was appointed to the bench prior to the promulgation of the Constitution in 2010, she should retire at 74, as was the case then. Through lawyer George Oraro, she's argued that the sixth schedule of the Constitution preserves the terms in office of those who held them prior to its promulgation. The High Court has restrained Gatondo South MP Moses Kuria from continuing to publicly accuse former Justice Minister Martha Karua of colluding with him and others to fix the ICC case facing Deputy President William Ruto. The gag order issued by Justice Joseph Kiplagat-Surgeon is effective until October 14th, when an inter-parties hearing is scheduled to take place. Kuria, through lawyer Danson Mungatana, opposed Kuria's application for the orders, arguing that the truth does not qualify as defamation. Karua is also seeking damages from Kuria for adversely linking her to the case the deputy president is facing before the ICC. The Salaries and Remuneration Commission says that its advice is binding and not just advisory, as found by Justice Dumanderi in regard to teachers. SRC lawyer Feroz Norji has told the Court of Appeal that the Teacher Service Commission can only carry out its mandate after being advised by SRC. He's argued that without such advice, the Commission cannot set wages, and if it does, then the action would be null and void. Inspector General Police Joseph Boynet has called for cohesion within the different departments of the police service. Boynet says the lack of camaraderie among senior officers is hampering effective service delivery. He spoke at the KICC, where he met high-ranking police officers from various departments.
We were gathered here was to bring together senior officers from headquarters so that they can all know the absolute imperative of changing the way we do police.
Taking a look at the world of business, KenGen is planning to boost the contribution of wind energy to the national grid from the current 2.5% to 10%. KenGen CEO, engineer Albert Mugo, says Kenya has a lot of potential in wind energy owing to the good wind regime in various parts of the country. The power generator is already implementing the first phase of a wind plant in Meru, which will be expected to inject a further 100 megawatts into the national grid. Engineer Mugo spoke on a tour of the Gong Wind Farm with the Belgian Secretary of State for Foreign Trade. And finally, taking a look at sports, the Shujas will play South Africa side Western Province, Italy, and Burundi at the Safari Sevens. Morans, who will be under the tutelage of Homeboys head coach Paul Marunga, will battle it out with Samurai, Zimbabwe, and neighbors Uganda in Pool C. England Saxons will lock horns with Spain, Brazil, and Zambia in Pool B, while Portugal headline Pool D with Australia Icons, Namibia, and Newcastle Whalers. And that's a wrap-up of the day's top stories. I've been your host, Angela Wamboy. For more on these and other stories, make sure you like and subscribe on our YouTube channel at Capital FM Kenya.